Welcome back. Now we're tucking into Simon Holston's pork belly lasagna in just a bit, and we've got a masterclass in poulet sauté vinegar, chicken and vinegar. Sounds really weird, but tastes wonderful. But first, I'm here with a singer whose debut single became one of the best love songs of all time and started a career that is still going strong almost 40 years later. And more than 40 million records later. It's the brilliant Rick Astley.
Thank you.
I say welcome back, Chief, as well. Welcome back to the house.
Very nice to be here.
So I know you love your food as well.
I do indeed.
And that's because you travel all the time as well, right?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the joys of being a musician, you know, that you actually get to eat local stuff sometimes that you wouldn't get if you were just in a regular scenario, like, you know what I mean, holidays and stuff. So, yeah, get taken out to nice restaurants is what I'm trying to say.
So with this one, what I thought I'd do, we tend to venture further afield. The Italian community in San Francisco is quite famous.
Right.
But the fishing community as well. Yeah. And this recipe comes from there, really. And the great thing about it, it utilises all the great fish they have in San Francisco Bay. You've got, obviously, the shrimp, you've got the clams, and they utilise this. This was a dish that they used to make with leftover fish they would catch, but also leftover fish that didn't sell.
OK.
A cioppino little stew, it's called, but it's really simple. It uses tomato at its base. Obviously, you've got a little bit of dried chilli that have tinned tomatoes, and then you've just got onions, garlic, and parsley. It's really basic ingredients, but one that tastes brilliant. I'm going to start adding all this all together. So while I'm doing that, before we talk about what you're up to the moment, I find your career fascinating.
OK.
Because food in the 80s was rocketing in London. I was working in London at the time.
Sure.
And then this chap suddenly appeared on the screens, Stock Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah, big time.
And then everything seems to come out of there almost spontaneously, all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, they had a real amazing purple patch, I think, and I was really lucky to meet them at the very beginning of that, I guess. They'd had Dead or Alive, obviously, and Princess and a few other artists. Bananarama as well, they'd had some hits with. But yeah, it was just an amazing time to be in London, I think. It's certainly in pop music. But I must say, they used to eat all their food from a place called John's Caff round the corner, and it was a greasy spoon. Love you, John, by the way, if you're watching. But and it was great as a calf. But I was kind of thinking, these guys are like you know, they had Ferraris and all sorts parked outside, but they're still having kind of like, you know, something from around John's Caff round the corner. So
but before that, you were in a band at school first.
I was, yeah.
Band at school at first. You did various gigs, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Didn't the lead singer leave to be a hairdresser and then you stepped forward? Was that right?
No, I don't know where the hairdresser comes in. I've got a very good friend who was a hairdresser. Long story short, I was the drummer, and I started to write songs. And I kind of came into rehearsals one day with a couple of tunes, and they basically looked at me and said, "OK, then, Big Ed, you sing them then." So I sort of became the singer by default, really. And I still love drumming. I love being out front, but I mean, being behind the drums is just amazing.
So then you do that. You're a young kid. You're a young kid. You then get signed by this record label.
Yeah.
And then you think life's going to be up. And you kind of get sidelined a little bit, and then you're serving tea and coffee to all these superstars.
Yeah. Definitely. I
love this.
Yeah. No. Well, I signed a deal with Stock Aitken Waterman, obviously, to make a record. Their career took off, and like I say, I feel that I was really lucky to be in that moment or around that moment when that happened for them. But what it meant was every record label in London was asking them to produce a pop hit for them.
Yeah.
And so someone like me who'd been signed to their kind of thing just got, you know, put on the back burner. And I think looking back, I'm glad that happened in a way. At the time, I wasn't super happy about it because I'm going like, when are you going to make a record with me? But it was amazing to be around that, you know. Yeah. They were making like a hit record every 2 weeks.
It seemed like that.
Yeah,
it was just.
Well, they were. And
because I was in London at the time, working in kitchens, and you were listening to the radio. It was one after another after another.
Yeah, and I'm sure various people got a bit bored of that. But I think if you were in it and you were part of it, it was amazing.
It was that like moment in time, wasn't it? Really? That genre was that was it.
They had a purple patch, like I say, and I kind of think it really helped to have a Stock Aitken Waterman produced record to get you on pop radio at that time. And I think they hit the nail on the head with Never Gonna Give You Up. I still think it's the best song they ever wrote. I would say that, but I think it is.
So so I'm just going to start adding bits and pieces. Sure. So we got the fish going in. Yeah. I'm going to add this in stages, but the tomato. Usually this is done with salted water, and we got tap water and salt. All right.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Great.
I didn't really want to go to Southampton again.
No. Well.
I
Yeah.
thought
Maybe better.
The San Francisco or the Southampton. I thought I'll just use tap water and a bit of salt. Yeah. This goes in here with a little bit of tomatoes, but. The song that catapulted it, you mentioned it.
Yeah.
You can't have imagined it going on to what it achieved. I mean, so quickly.
Yeah. I think that was the thing that surprised everybody as well, is that because some of the artists I mentioned before, Dead or Alive, obviously Bananarama for sure, had a bit of a career, quite a career already. They'd had hits, they'd been around, they'd done it, you know what I mean? But I was a total unknown, first record out of the bag. And even the cover of that single, they used a photograph that we'd done in a photo session for something else, really. It wasn't for that single. It wasn't like, let's design the single cover. It's like, let's just stick a photograph of him on the front of it.
Was that quick?
Yeah. And we only made the video. Back then, it took a few weeks to get to have a #1 record.
Yeah.
And we only made the video for it in the week that it went to #1. So I'd been on Top of the Pops, I'd done a couple of TVs, still didn't have a video. If you imagine not having a video for a pop song in 1987, that's madness. This is like the time of MTV was at its peak.
Yeah.
And it's like, we still didn't have a video for it, so, you know.
And you do that, and then you global success, #1, millions of records that you sell, and you decide to give it all up.
Yeah, I mean, I had 4 or 5 years at it, and I think I'd become a dad at that point as well, which is a huge thing, obviously. But I also think it's good to know when you've had your moment, and maybe you have to. Some people don't do that, and they carry on for too long. And don't get me wrong, I don't regret it in any way. I'm super grateful for it. I'm more grateful today than I've ever been for it. Do you know what I mean? Because I can look back and have distance.
Also, you're getting the second win for it. We're going to talk about that
totally,
now because Glastonbury's one of them.
Yeah.
That must have surprised you.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I never thought I'd get to play Glastonbury because it's just epic and it's just monster. And I got to go on the pyramid stage and everything. And I don't get very nervous about singing. I've never really done that too much anyway. But I think doing something like Glastonbury is a little bit different. Festivals in general are a little bit different. I know you've played a few in your time. So it's like, it's not the same as going to your own sound check and having an hour if necessary to make sure everything's right. It's just kind of like the crew have done their best. It's rocking, it'll all be great, but, like, you've just got to go on there and do it.
Because I mean, particularly that, the build-up to that is one thing, but wasn't the knock-on effect? A lot of things went wrong. There
was a few things that went wrong, yeah. You know, obviously, we all have in-ear systems, so we can really hear what we're doing properly and everything for the monitoring. Anyway, so we're at the side of the stage, and we'd already been out and had a look to see what sort of a crowd we had about 45 minutes before this, because I was first one on at 12 o'clock lunchtime, and there was nobody there. And I was like, OK, it's going to be on the Beeb. It's going to be, like, this is just going to be the most embarrassing thing in the world. You know, this is like... And by the time we got back to the stage, after getting dressed and getting ready to go, they'd turned up. They'd all rolled out of the tents and sleeping bags, and there they were. So I'm like, OK, great, it's going to be great, you know. And then all of a sudden, I could see everybody could hear what was going on, and that I couldn't. I could see in their eyes and everything that they're all listening to this, that, and the other, and the crew saying, oh, you know, this is over here, but careful of this, all these different things. I'm like, I can't hear any of this. So I started moving around, I still couldn't hear any of it. I've got spare in-ears, obviously, and all the rest of it, so somebody ran to grab those, put those in, I thought, it's fine, they're just something's broken. Put those in, still couldn't hear anything. And then I got a bit closer to the stage, and then it just kicked in, and I could hear everything.
Wow.
But it's that thing of... I just think sometimes it's meant to be, because it's meant to give you a kick up the backside and go, just get after it.
Do what you did.
Rather than walk out super comfortable, get after it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what it made me do.
Look, look at this. This is this fish stew. In goes the prawns now. Look, I've just peeled these, they're easy to eat. Then we've got the clams. I mean, this is what the simplicity of this dish is. In we go with the clams. You get tons of juice out the clams anyway. They go in. The mussels start to go in as well.
Gorgeous.
That all just sits in there. And if you need to add more liquid, a little bit of water. But remember, it's all in that salt as well. So don't be frightened to put plenty of salt in, like the salted water as well. But all that experience brings me on to what you're doing now, because you're still touring. You still love it as much as it always has been. I do,
to be honest. Yeah, I do sort of question at times how I've still got the chance to do it, and that's not false modesty, that's just looking at what else is going on.
Yeah, but you are brilliant on stage.
Thank you. I'll take that.
I've watched you on stage from the front, I've watched you on stage from the side.
Right.
We've been at festivals, and our band has been there as well.
Sure.
Whoa. And then, but you
I love it, I think, and I think that's the... I know all artists say, oh, I love it and all the rest of it, but I kind of think, because I had like maybe 15 years away from doing it,
Yeah.
and thought when I actually made a record again and started to do... I did a lot of like what you'd call retro gigs with people from that era, from the 80s and early 90s, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, but I hadn't done anything with new music for donkey's years. And so I made a record in my garage on my own,
yeah.
and it just started to grow again from that moment, and we just started getting better offers to play, you know, bigger places and all the rest of it. And
now,
I think that's why I appreciate it more.
It accumulates in what you're doing now, because it's a celebration of, well, everything you've done in your milestones.
I've called it the Reflection Tour, and that's partly because we were on holiday earlier this year, and we were in Capri, darling, and
that's changed from Skeggy.
There you go. Some friends of ours go every year, and they've been saying, you've got to come. So we went. Anyway, I'd had a couple of glasses of rosé at one point. We all had.
Yeah.
So we were doing the thing where, you know, you're trying different sunglasses on of different people's around the table, and had these whopping big sunglasses on, and a friend of ours took this photograph. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, I'm looking at this photograph and saying, because I'm kind of just looking out to sea, and I'm kind of just, I just look at myself and thinking, wow, man, what are you thinking? And when I think back to it, I'm kind of thinking, how did I get here? How amazing this is to sort of be in a position, I'm going to be 60 next year, and be in a position where...
You up.
Sorry? Catching you up. OK. Where I'm sort of... Yeah, I just wouldn't have dreamt it, is what I'm saying. At the age of 21, when Never Gonna Give You Up came out, I would have never believed that clocking on for 60, I'll be doing some of the biggest shows that I've ever done in my life. And
comes
thinking,
down to
well...
the fact that you're brilliant at it. And
Thank you.
why would you see the chap in action? Meanwhile, I'm going to make a lot of smoke over here, so I'm going to make it look like Top of the Pops did back in the 80s.
Smoke machine,
so while
here we
this
go.
is going on, just check out the main man in action.
Brilliant.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. Why don't I see you cry for help? Never gonna turn it back, never gonna change the facts. Can't stop this world from turning. Together forever and never to pass. Together forever we two. 'Cause I got angels on my side.
Hey. So I'm trying to make it look like that with the smoke machine as well.
That is the best smelling smoke machine I've ever been anywhere near.
I'm trying to make it. So
yeah.
this is the Reflection Tour. But what I love about what you do as well, you give the audience what they want.
I try to. I definitely try to.
Because a lot of artists just the songs that make you famous. You go, I don't want to do that anymore.
I hear you big time. I went to see Oasis in Manchester, and that was one of the things that really hit home for me, was that the set list was incredible. And I think there's something... Listen, we don't all have a set list like they have, let's be fair. But I think you've just got to know your audience and say, well, why are they here? They're here for this. Let's give it to them then, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and that's the key to it, isn't it, really? Because that's what gives you longevity, see? But look, we've just got a lovely bit of... This is what I love about this, and what I loved about it in San Francisco at the time, is the simplicity of it. It's just one pan. And then all you do is you take the squid that's been char-grilled, and you just pop it all in. So you've just got almost just the salt water is the seasoning, the liquor out of everything else. It's just fresh seafood. Look, it's just...
amazing.
It's glorious. It's quick,
beautiful.
it's simple, like that. And then all we're going to do now is then just take the chopped parsley over the top, and you sprinkle it over the top, like that. And that's kind of it.
Fantastic.
It's as easy as that, but there you have your lovely little Italian/American, San Francisco, classic fish stew with a little bit of chili. Easy as that. Done.
Right.
And then what I do is just before we serve it, we take a little bit of Italian olive oil over the top. And I just love dishes like this. Look,
Gorgeous. Looks amazing.
I don't know where you start with this, but this is for you. To have a taste of the prawns with the sauce in the bottom. And so it's super. It's just the salted water. So plenty of salt in there. I didn't put any pepper in there at all. Just salt. Just this sea salt. That's the key to it. Tomatoes and chilies. It's just amazing fish.
That is amazing. It's super healthy as well.
Ah, you just,
Super healthy.
you could just, sit there and it's
That is
just watch the
fantastic.
world go around.
A
It's
little bit
absolutely
more of that.
delicious. There we have it.
Yeah.
Right, we're making a partridge ravioli for Rick later on this morning, and I'll be tasting one of Ryan and Liam's trademark recipes very shortly as well. But join us again after the break, as I'm visiting a city of Vigo to get a taste of the local octopus, cooked very similar to that actually. But I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, sadly, to the last part of the show. But I'm back in the kitchen with all my guests. Simon, Ryan, Liam, Alicia, and of course, Rick Astley. And we thought with this one, I thought I'd do. Well, you did ravioli, and
I did lasagna.
Yeah, well, lasagna thing. I thought I'm going to do sort of ravioli. We've got some pasta over here. You don't rule all that, but a little bit.
No, I'll use a little bit.
Otherwise, we'll be here till
we will.
Definitely this afternoon. And then you're going to pick this partridge. I've just basically slowly cooked the partridge. We're going to do this nice and simple. So roast partridge with a nice little sort of partridge ravioli that we're going to go with it. So a little bit of, because it's homage to your shirt that you're wearing as well. You see. You got on. So we've got on here, we've got the butter and the oil, and we're just going to simply cook the partridge. If you are faced with these, and I love partridge, I think they're in season right now, they're absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
You usually get them by the brace. Ideally, what you want to do is partridge or pheasants by the females, because the females taste better than the males.
Obviously.
They do, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So in France, they have this thing called poulet de Bresse, which is the greatest chicken in the world. White feather, red comb, blue legs. National member of France. Always the female chicken costs more than the male. Really? So when you walk around the market, there's two different prices. One is smaller than the other.
Okay.
So that's it. But poulet de Bresse. So we're going to cook our nice little partridge over here. Nice little bit of salt and pepper. That one's on there. If I can just get in here, gentlemen. Thank you very much. So some black pepper and get that one on. Meanwhile, we'll just get a little bit of colour on this. Now, we're talking earlier about hitting the road again. So this tour, there is some pretty monster places in this tour.
I know. Don't frighten me.
I'm thinking, you're going where?
Yeah, I know. Well, I've actually... We finished at the O2 in London, and I've actually sung there a bunch of times, because I opened for Take That, which was amazing fun to do, by the way. But I've never actually had my own gig there, so that's super exciting.
You've never done your own gig?
No. And we're also playing the Co-op Live in Manchester, which I think is possibly the biggest arena in Europe, I think. Yeah,
it's amazing.
So that's super exciting. But to be honest, every night is going to be super exciting for me, because, like I said before, I'm kind of just glad they let me in the building. So yeah.
Where is that? You've supported other people in the past. You've got some great support with you, haven't you? That's
Gabrielle's going to come with us, and we toured together some years ago, and I just remember thinking at that gig that she's got an amazing voice, a really distinct voice, which is so important in pop music, I think, or any kind of music anyway, to have your own identity. But I just think over the years, her songwriting has just proved itself, because we all love her tunes, and wherever you go, you do hear them. You know what I mean? Wherever you go. And I've seen her at different gigs, obviously, and just thought, those tunes are amazing. So, yeah, I'm super lucky that she's going to join us again.
She was on probably our first ever week of doing this at the house.
Wow. Oh, really?
Oh, well, you were quite shortly after, 2019. Okay. But she was on quite early on. And
amazing.
So you're catching her up the amount of time she's been on the show as well. She's been on a few times on the show, so please say hi when you see her.
I will
like
do,
said, distinctive voices. But back then, those distinctive voices stood out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some amazing singers around right now. I think every decade has a great bunch of artists that come through, obviously. I think the only thing for me is that I'm going to sound like an old man now.
When I was
a lad. I do struggle sometimes, especially when I'm just listening on the radio and a voice comes on, I think, oh, and I'll be singing along to a tune that I think I know and singing the wrong words, and then I realise at the end of it, oh, that's not who I thought it was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's a few artists that do sound a bit similar, I think, these days. But I think that's also modern production techniques.
But it's also is that because there's more music around? Is it? Because obviously the way that music is now, it's all streamed and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe.
It's very different.
Maybe. There are some amazing
songs are getting shorter.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Pop songs are getting shorter, and there's a lack of groups.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, because groups are good.
Yeah.
Groups are good.
Yeah, we need some more guitar bands, I think, coming through.
We do. But you're on about, we mentioned Oasis, you know, the Oasis, the Coldplays and stuff like that. But all those iconic bands, you know, they never forget what put them in the first place. So they would be so wrong to do Wembley in front of 90, 100,000 people and not play the tracks that got them.
Yeah, totally. And I think obviously the Oasis thing is an amazing story as well. because that's been going on for such a long time. And I'm sure every time any of them did a TV for their own stuff or an interview, that question is coming. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's been a few bands throughout history, haven't there, that have kind of split up. And every time the individuals go back and do something, you know that question's coming, like, are you ever going to get back together? You know what I mean? So I think it's just been quite nice to...
I just want the Spice Girls to get back together. God. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Victoria.
They did it.
They did it for a bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
But look, we got a nice little sauce over here. The chaps are just making the ravioli as we speak, so I'll then divert our attention away and do this over here. But we've got the ravioli going on here. This is a nice little bit of the sauce. So we're going to deglaze this. This is the gubbins from the pan that I've cooked the partridge in. So the great thing about this, you braise the legs and then you've got the partridge here. And then all I'm going to do is just deglaze this sauce, pass it through a sieve. In there, I've got brandy and Madeira with some butter. That's going to go in. And then I'm going to add some lovely wild mushrooms to go with it as well. That's going to go in there. Meanwhile, I'll wash this out. That sits on here. Now, also, little birdie tells me you've now gone into writing as well, because now you've done your own sort of autobiography.
Yeah, I did last year, and the paperback's coming out very soon. Yeah, that was kind of one of the big things about it, to be honest, was I'd been asked maybe to do it a couple of times, and I always said I didn't really feel I'd lived enough to be able to write an autobiography, but also...
With all the stuff you did?
No, but I mean, no, but also...
You did more than anybody else would do. That's only 24.
I am a big fan of autobiographies, and I drive a lot, and so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And sometimes if you're doing like Michael Caine or something, and then someone asks you the week after, hey, do you want to do your autobiography? Go, nope.
My life's not as exciting as it is.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, but I think one of the things for me was that my mum and dad passed away a few years ago within close proximity to each other, and I kind of felt that I could really just be unbelievably honest and say whatever I wanted to say about anything, and then it wouldn't necessarily bother them, and so that was a bit of a turning point as well, if I'm honest. It was kind of like I wanted to just, be really honest about how I got into music and why I did it. And one of the reasons, a big reason for me, was I wanted to get the hell out of where I came from. And that's not running away from the town I'm from, because I kind of like the town I'm from, but it was my childhood, really, and I just wanted to go out and do something and feel that it was my life and I could do whatever I wanted with my life. Do you know what I mean?
Do you still know where the other band members were when you were 16? Because you used to do the band and the choir. Do you still know where they all are?
I've kept in touch with a couple of guys, yeah, but I wouldn't say, we don't hang out together or anything, no, but because it's ancient history now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, funny old game. One of the guys I was actually at school with, and in the first band I was ever in, we still get a coffee every couple of weeks, because he lives not far from me. I live in Surrey now, and professional northerner, but I live in Surrey.
You just want the space around your house,
yeah, exactly, yeah. And he lives pretty close, nice. And so we keep in touch and stuff, yeah. So, but that's going back to when we were like 15, 16,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. When's the tour start?
First gig is Glasgow, which is always a good one to start there.
Yeah.
And that's on the 10th of April.
So, I take it you're in the big arena then at Glasgow, yeah?
We are, yeah. We are, yeah. So, yeah, which is amazing.
I know. Well, when I toured, I was in the little armadillo bit, and 50 Cent was in the big arena.
Oh, brilliant!
Thinking one day I'll get there. One day I'll get.
I know which night I would have rather have gone to. And I meant you, by the way.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'll take that as a compliment. But look, we're just going to we've got our little sauce over here. We've got the herbs going in here with the butter, with the water, and everything else. That just gets warmed up. The sauce is done, really. I'm going to get the chaps, if that's all right. I'm going to put them to work again while I do the ravioli. If you can take those off the crown, that would be great. Thank you very much. Don't worry, I'll have to clean up after this. Don't you worry. But I don't think you will.
You used to me making the mess, ain't you?
But look, we'll take our... They all right?
They're all good. Yeah.
They look pretty good to me. They're not bad, them, chef.
They look nice.
It's all right, considering we were like pushing it a little bit, weren't we?
The two of you, I mean, come on.
Always seems like a giant mystery pasta to me. Do you know what I mean?
What's inside?
I love pasta, but it's kind of like, how do you even... I don't know
what's inside.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do it, you probably noticed that you give somebody else it to do quite early on.
What is it? Mystery meal.
Yeah.
So the sauce over here, we'll just put a little bit of salt and pepper in here.
See the way they tried to make them like Gordon Ramsay? Seen that, James? The Ramsay raviolis, look at them.
I know.
All Michelin chefies, aren't they?
But look, and then we're almost ready.
I just
really,
did a
with
square.
this. Thank you
That
much.
looks
If you could-
absolutely beautiful, that
If you could
partridge.
slice that into probably 3, if that's all right.
Into 3, yeah?
Yeah,
What,
just-
going down that way,
Yeah,
or...?
going down that way. You're the fancy chef, so you can do it whatever way you want. Would you do it whatever?
The other one doing raviolis
should we
and
do?
stuff. Yeah, and fish rolls and stuff. You know, maybe on spaghetti hoops.
Yeah, that'll do. And then just a little bit like, you know, just a little bit.
There you go.
Oh, so we're doing everything then?
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
well,
putting
you
it, yeah,
just-
they're putting
you-
him through
you
it
just-
today, aren't
I'm advising.
they? Yeah.
Just put that on there. It's a bit like a band, you know. You've got the guy at the front, but you can't do it without the guys behind. Particularly the drummer, I found. But look, there. And then we got a nice little bit.
Have we got a 4th plate now?
No, I step in now,
okay.
and basically people just
I
tune in.
step in, I love that.
As if
Just keep it as busy.
and look, we take our little ravioli over here,
Nice.
and
That
then
actually looks fantastic.
That's a really nice way to use the legs up, actually, James. That's really
I
good.
think braise them in a little bit and keep some of this butter as well. This is the Chervil butter, and then I've made a lovely little sauce that the carcasses, the pork, the everything else, and we're just going to put that.
It's very
Oh,
autumnal.
yeah.
Very autumnal.
And if you can pick some little bits of Chervil to go with it,
Yeah.
please. Thank you very much, Chefy. You can do that.
Are we doing the whole fancy Chervil on top sort of job?
You can,
Going
whatever
back
you
to
want
the
to do.
1970s.
So... so...
I was born then, lad.
It's not that far ago.
Yeah, it's not that bad. The 1970s was all right. You know, 80s was a bit of rock and roll. We had some geezer on the radio quite a lot.
Aye.
But, you know, it's a look.
Can you remember the days of having Chervil on the pass? And
Yeah,
just having it in
and
a
ice
little
water.
pot of water.
There's nothing wrong with
I
Chervil.
still do. What are you talking about? What are you talking about that? But look, a bit of that.
He's a good joker, James, isn't he?
Yeah, I know exactly. Don't worry, I'll get him. Wait till on you next time. I'll get him to do a crock-a-moose in 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
And then we put that on there, little drizzle of olive oil, and you stand over there as if I've just made all this lot, and I'll just run around and look as if I've been running around. And there we have it. My lovely little partridge with its own ravioli and a nice little bit of wild mushrooms. Easy as that. Right, well, bon appetit, you three.
Lovely.
Little help from these chaps over here. You know, you did all right there, Chief.
Thank you.
The look on your face when I said ravioli, aluminium.
Apprentice job.
We got there, didn't we?
We
got
got
there. I think
Go
I
ahead,
think
dig
they're
in.
happy with that.
I'm trying to dig into
Partridge
this
was
ravioli.
That looks nice, that.
Nice, isn't it? Super tasty.
I like that.
A little bit tasty.
The aniseed flavour and that's delicious.
Yeah. Just a little bit in there. It's just, yeah.
I put a little bit of tarragon in ravioli as well.
Yeah. It's nice with that. I think the tarragon really works, yeah. There you go. Easy as that. That's all we've got time for today, sadly. A massive thank you to all my guests, Simon, Ryan, Liam, Alicia, and of course, Rick Astley. Good luck with the tour as well. Thank you. Good luck with the tour. You don't need it, but you'll smash it. We'll see you back at the same time next Saturday morning when we're joined in the house by Jonathan Pang, Chef Galton Blackiston, and also presenter, writer, and Loose Women star Mariella Frostrup will be here as well. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.